Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show to do my one and only NFL recap for the night. And where do I begin with this game? The second half of this game, so exciting, man. Especially that fourth quarter, which is immediately where I'm going to get to my talking points. The Bengals won, obviously. Ended up winning in overtime. It went down the wire in overtime, but they got it done. It's just crazy that they still won this game despite some really, really bad management from Zach Taylor in this football game. Both coaches, even Sean Payton, had some bad clock management. In that second half, I thought. Zach Taylor could have secured his firing in this game. Just could have secured his firing. Because they should have won this game in regulation. Chase Brown literally went down at the 1 yard line. The Broncos only have one timeout. How do you not need the ball twice from the 1 yard line, sir? Burn the Broncos timeout, kick a field goal, and give Denver 25 seconds to try and go down and get a field goal. That's just brain dead coaching. And why are you going to trust your defense there? Your defense has been terrible the whole season, and they get mossed in the end zone. And then they gave the Broncos a chance to get a touchdown and try and think about going for two for the win. Sean Payton trying to one-up Zach Taylor with his clock management. It's 3rd and 8, no Cincy timeouts. Run next for the first, or at worst, punt the ball at the 2-minute warning. But before that, I want to get to the two-pointer that they didn't attempt. How do you not go for two there and try to win and clinch a playoff spot? They had all the momentum. The Bengals defense played as well as they could for most of the game. But they had all the momentum. Bengals defense was gassed. It's insane. You go for the two there. If you don't get it, oh well. You at least tried to win. But there, you just settle for overtime. If it's me, I'm going for the win to get in the playoffs. If I don't get it, oh well. Just try and win next week. I mean, throwing there was just silly. I mean, Peyton's the smartest guy in the room, was too scared to go for the win when he could. Instead, he thought his defense, which hadn't forced a punt all game or stopped them, would win the game. It's just insane. Both coaches' clock management was terrible in this football game. Joe Burrow saved the Cincinnati Bengals. He saved Zach Taylor's job for 1 week, for at least one more week. He saved Cade York, who missed a 33-yard field goal. Zach Taylor and Sean Payton, I'm stupid. They're stupid. The Bengals are lucky they won this game. Because my God, Zach Taylor gets paid $5 million a year. How much he get paid? $5 million a year. He had the ball at the 20-yard line with an easy chance to ice the game. This game shouldn't even went to overtime. Made this game harder than it needed to be. And instead, scored 30 seconds later and let the other team score in the game. His franchise could not afford to lose. Luckily, Joe Burrow saved them. But this game shouldn't even come down to overtime, if I'm being honest. But Joe Burrow saved his team. It's just unbelievable what we are seeing Joe Burrow do. 39 for 49. 412 yards. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. 4 runs, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Despite getting sacked how many times? 7 times. But he still played excellent, and they still won this football game. This was a great QB battle. Bo Nix had a great last drive. Really impressive. The play calling for the Broncos wasn't exactly impressive in overtime, and Joe Burrow made some big plays with T. Higgins. Well, T. Higgins had a great game. Jamar Chase. That 1-2 duo, man, so good. But Joe Burrow, my God, if they can somehow get in the playoffs, if they can somehow get there, he might have to get some MVP votes. Because, my God, this dude's been fantastic this year. 4,641 yards, 42 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions. Like, my God. If he takes his team to the playoffs, he should at least be getting votes. Because, my God, he's been wonderful all season. Like, he has hardly turned the ball over this season. I mean, despite this loss to the Bengals, the Broncos still control their own destiny. And all they have to do is win next week against those Chiefs. And they'll be in the postseason. I mean, they could win next week because the Chiefs could rest their players, but it's not a guarantee they'll just win. Because, I mean, they still got to play the game. But what a game from Joe Burrow. Just insane how good he is. Chase Brown, 20 runs, 67 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. He had suffered a right ankle injury. He had 4 catches for 24 yards, and Khalil Herbert 4 runs for 23 yards. Receiver T. Higgins at receiving. T. Higgins, 11 catches, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns. Probably had his second best game of the season. And what a big game when they needed it most. T. Higgins, he stepped up to the plate. He stepped up when they needed it the most. I mean, I'd even say his best game of the season, to be honest. 12 targets, 11 receptions. Like, he might get a bag in the offseason. I don't know if he'll be by the Bengals, but I would think about bringing him back. Jamar Chase, 9 catches, 102 yards, continuing his great season. What is happening? What is happening? Gesicki, 10 catches, 86 yards, and Ishivas, 3 catches for 59 yards. Jermaine Pratt had an interception in this game. Clutch interception. Trey Hendrickson had half a sack, adding to his stats. But Garrett Bowles played a nice game at tackle against Trey Hendrickson. They sacked the Bengals twice. Cade York missed a field goal. He's lucky Joe Burrow and the Bengals won that game and got lucky with the Broncos' bad play calling in overtime. Just bad clock management as well. He missed a 33-yard field goal. But the Broncos, of course, they went 3-0. But yeah, the Bengals 8-8. Very impressed with Joe Burrow on this offense. The offensive line was pretty dog shit. 7 sacks allowed. But Joe Burrow come through when it mattered most. The Broncos dropped to 9-7 here. Like I said, they still control their own destiny. All they have to do is win against those Chiefs. Which Chiefs probably play their backups. Bengals 8-8. Broncos dropped to 9-7 here. Bengals improved to 8-8. Bo Nix, 24-31, 219 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 7 runs for 31 yards. He led that last drive to tie the game over 2 defenders. But it just wasn't great play calling in overtime. I thought by Sean Payton. They just throw too many of those short screens. But Joe Burrow played well. Bo Nix played well, I thought. Sean Payton, I thought, coached really conservative in overtime. He coached for the tie, and that's why they lost. And Bo Nix kind of reminds me of Josh when he breaks out of the pocket and uses his legs. Why on earth do you not call any option plays? He has almost 400 rushing yards this season. It's not like Bo Nix is a statue. He can run the football. Why are you just calling screen pass, check down? Just really bad play calling. He played for the tie. And I know a tie still gets you in the playoffs, but if you play for the tie in overtime, you're not going to win. Julian McLaughlin, 10 runs, 69 yards, 6.9 yards per carry. That's another just more bad play calling from Sean Payton. He had 6.9 yards per carry on 10 carries, 69 yards. And they do not give him the football. Yes, they tried an OT and only got 1 yard. But, I mean, if you're not going to run the whole game, one bad run doesn't mean, oh, we can't run the football. He just thinks he's smarter than everyone else. He just barely saw the field. Estime, 9 runs, 24 yards, 2.7 a carry. You could have gave those carries to Jaleel McLaughlin. Today wasn't Estime's day. Marvin Mims Jr., 8 catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. They need to utilize him more. To me, but he played great. Sutton, 5 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown for Cortland Sutton. Estime, 1 catch, 13 yards. Vile, 2 catches, 27 yards. Their defense, Zach Allen, 3.5 sacks. He was fantastic today. No, he hasn't been talked about how good he's been. 3.5 sacks. Tillman had 1. DJ Jones had half of 1. Jonathan Cooper had half a sack. Franklin Myers had half a sack. They were getting after Joe Burrow a lot. It's just the offense wasn't great in overtime. Played too conservative, and they ended up costing them. Yeah, great win for the Bengals, and their playoff hopes are still alive. I mean, they still got to take care of business next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, if it even matters. They got to hope. I think they just have to hope for some teams to lose. They got to have the Broncos lose. If the Broncos lose, then that opens the door for the Bengals, the Colts, the Dolphins, other teams still in contention. But we'll see. This is a hell of a game, especially that fourth quarter. I mean, I've had so many great football games to recap this week. It's been fun. So, yeah, that's all to say here. Peace.